Welcome out to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 134. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question is, what food combination did you first hear about that you thought there's no way, then later tried and was like, this was really awesome? Ray, is there something that you heard about you were just like, no, I don't know about this?
So a lot of stuff lately, because I used to eat like shit, which I still eat like shit, but it was worse.
You were really.
Is there a specific animal you like? Like shit?
Chicken. Yes.
Chicken.
Chicken shit. All right.
It's gotta be chicken
Just
shit.
chicken.
Gotcha.
I don't know, chicken shit.
Oh,
it's gotta
right.
be chicken shit. Anyway, so the one for me that I always saw my dad eat and that I thought was so weird is cheddar cheese and apple pie, and holy shit, is it good? Gotta
Really,
be
I've never tried that.
extra old sharp cheddar where it's got that like really good cheddar flavor, and you eat a little piece of that, have some apple pie, and it's fantastic.
I've heard that you're not the only one. I've heard that's kind of common, but yeah, I've never tried it.
Yeah.
Gotta tell you, you gotta try it at least once.
When was that?
Oh, every time I eat apple pie now.
Yeah, no, but when did that start?
Well, not until, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Anyway.
I blocked it out because that's super gross.
So good.
Well, Chris, what do you, is there something that someone recommended to you? You're just like, no way, tried it. And was like, no, this was pretty awesome.
Okay, so I was very much a one condiment per food item kind of gal. Like it's just ketchup on the plate, or it's just mustard on the plate, or barbecue sauce, or whatever.
This only happened like a few weeks ago.
Yes. So Logan and I went to Exeter, so we got some lunch, and I ordered a burger from A&W and just asked for everything except for cheese, not thinking that they would put the condiments all together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm eating it and I'm like, this is really good. What is their special sauce? And it dawned on me, and I'm like, fuck, they just mix mustard and ketchup together. This is the best thing on the planet. Why have I never eaten this? So now, and this literally, I think was last month.
It was less than a month ago.
Last month. And I'm like, this is amazing.
That's hilarious.
Because it always looked disgusting because they have such distinct tastes.
Uh-huh.
And so now everything now is mustard and ketchup. We had sausages last night, mustard and ketchup. It was amazing. Burgers tonight, mustard and ketchup.
Yep, she did.
It's
Gotcha.
so good. Were you gonna think did you think I was gonna say something gross, Sean?
I thought you were gonna say ketchup and mayo.
No.
Oh no, that's good. Ketchup and mayo and fries?
No.
No. Mayo was on the top, and it was the mustard and ketchup at the bottom of the bun. That was
I'm
awesome.
wondering though, like, did you have mustard on your burger or ketchup on your burger before this, Chris?
Her
was
hot dog.
always-
Like split it in half?
Her hot dog was always just one
mustard.
or just the other.
No, I never had
No,
ketchup.
but if mustard wasn't available, then you'd go
do
with ketchup.
But it was always mustard for the hot dogs, and then burgers were always ketchup, always, and like a stupid amount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do that too.
What about you, Sean?
Chopped pizza and scrambled eggs.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
So you take your day-old pizza after a good night of drinking
Oh,
and throw it in your scrambled egg batter as you're cooking it up. It looks disgusting, but it's like an angel crap on your plate. It is so good. It pulls all that pizza flavor.
Uh-huh.
okay, I can
Pepperoni
see that.
pizza. Just make sure you chop it up fine, like the pizza up fine enough that it's not like huge chunks or anything like that. Make it bite sized. And
Yeah.
then you throw it in while you're making the scrambled eggs, and the scrambled eggs pulls it all together. And oh my God, you got to try it. Day old pizza, because the crust is a little harder, so it soaks up the egg a little bit more. It's like French toast. You use day old bread for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a frittata, like a weird sort of.
It looks disgusting. I think I've even posted a picture on my Facebook at one point because it looked like someone barfed on your plate, but it is so good.
I have to take your word for that one.
Try it. Jeez.
You like eating next day pizza?
That's true. I love
See, I hit a point in my life. Christy can still eat cold pizza. I have to warm it up. and
Well,
even then it has to be warmed up in the oven
This is
because
warmed
microwave.
up
I'm
on
like,
the oven.
true, yes, okay. So, I actually had one earlier today, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what it was. But I'll throw in what I've started doing, and it's funny. We went through a phase where I stopped doing it, and apparently it's now come back. Kind of going along. I'm about to blow your mind here, Chris. Do either of y'all? Do any of y'all like a Big Mac?
I've never had a Big Mac.
Okay. Well, they have a special sauce on it, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, it's just Thousand Island." It's not Thousand Island. It's a little different. And
It's left out in the sun for a day.
in my quest to perfect my burger cooking, I stumbled upon a podcast, and this guy was like, take 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. It's better if it's like the olive oil one, but take 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, add a tablespoon of mustard, add a tablespoon of ketchup, and add a tablespoon of sweet relish, and
Okay.
mix it together, and it is fucking fantastic, to the point I have to tell Christy not to eat it like a dip with chips. I'm so addicted to it that there was a point there I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna make burger sauce, and she's like, just make it for you. And I'm like, what? You didn't OD on it, did you? And she goes, yeah, I think I did. So we went probably a couple of months, and I made burgers like last weekend or whatever, and I was like, well, I'm gonna make it. And she goes, okay, I think I can go back to it. But it was just so funny because like I'd come in, I'd mix it up like right before the burgers are ready, and I'd go out, and I'd come back in, and she's over there with a chip dipping it. I'm like, it's not a dip, it's a whatever. So, but yeah. Okay, so we're talking about combining 2 different things tonight, and Ray brought up the idea of it's a show that we did way back on episode 44. So it's been quite a while, so this is a good time to resurrect it, and we're going to talk about crossover. So tonight we're taking 2 shows or something. I didn't even necessarily say it had to be a show, just 2 things that we're gonna do crossover. So whereas with a mashup is different, mashup tends to be like, I'm gonna take parts of this and parts of that and kind of put them together. This is more so the one goes to visit the other, or vice versa, or something like that. And so with that being said, would anyone like to go first?
I'll go.
All right, Sean, what is your first crossover for the evening?
First one is Deadpool and X-Files.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, so set this up.
So, the scenario, okay. Midway through the events of the first Deadpool, as Wade is taking out a string of mafiosos, Mulder and Scully are brought in because of the unusual crime scenes and descriptions of the perp. For the story's sake, we'll put Wade in Mulder and Scully's world, so mutants aren't quite as well known. Mulder and Scully eventually catch up to Wade while staking out a crime family's restaurant, which Wade attacks. They witness Wade's work firsthand, but Wade doesn't kill them, seeing their badges. Wade makes some innuendos about a threesome, but it's got to be quick as his extra hole caused by a bullet wound is shrinking fast. Wade then takes off, leaving a gruesome mess and a dumbfounded Mulder and Scully, having just witnessed Wade's regenerative powers before their eyes. Wade completes the mission without Mulder and Scully catching up to him again, and the episode ends with a Deadpool poster being put right next to Mulder's I Want to Believe poster in the office.
This worked really well. Good job, sir. That is fantastic.
I like it.
Because I was like, okay, how's this going to work? But then when you started describing it, I was like, yeah, seeing Deadpool work would definitely end up on their radar. So
that's why it had to be in their world.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I like that. Yeah, and he would absolutely. I can see Ryan Reynolds. Quick, before my third hole.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Something like that in there.
Oh yeah.
And I love the idea that the piece de resistance is the poster next to the.
Yes.
Oh
yeah. That's fantastic.
I loved X-Files growing up, so it was like, and when I first started thinking about this one, I was gonna put it in like a hospital. I was thinking like actually X-Files and ER at first, and then but they've chased a whole bunch of guys in hospitals before, so I'm like, well, what else could I do? And then I was like, oh well, yeah, Deadpool will work there.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it.
Sorry, I had to look up something real quick. Okay, so would anyone like to go first? I mean, go next.
I'll go next.
All right, what is your first one, Ray?
So the first
Now,
one.
is this your knock it out of the park one, or are you saving that one?
My favorite one I'm going to save for last.
Aw,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
there you go.
All right. So this one here is. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to read what I wrote, and then we'll see if you guys catch it, because I'm pretty sure you will. So.
Oh yeah, that right there.
Yeah. Mike and Brand have been running their building company for a few years now. Mouth has become a lawyer. Andy, she went off to become an archaeologist, and Steph is a professor now at Marshall College. Mike got a phone call one day, and he picks it up, and it's Data. He's like, dude, I need to talk to you. And he said, okay, what's going on? He's like, listen, my grandfather Shorty passed away, and he left me this box, and it's got all these notes and things from this Professor Jones or something. We need you to, I need to talk to you about this, and maybe we can get in touch with Steph, because I think Steph could find out who this Dr. Jones is.
Oh, I know this one.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, are you okay, Sean?
Don't do that.
Yes, don't do that.
So yeah, as for Sean's pain, Goonies, and then you got your link into Indiana Jones, and the link is right there.
Yes.
Data.
So
I think I had it at Mouth.
Yeah. So I thought that'd be a fun one.
That would be absolutely fun.
Great way to reintroduce the group together, and so. Yeah.
So how do you think Dr. Jones would deal with that group?
Not well.
Oh, he'd tell them all to piss off.
I don't think he had a high tolerance for children.
X-Files.
Didn't he already work with Data?
What's that?
Same kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be a spitting image of his grandfather. Don't I know
That would be awesome.
Somewhere, kid. Like it's.
Yeah. You look familiar, little bugger.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your first one?
Okay, so I think I did more of a mashup than
Fair enough.
like a crossover, I think. Anyway, I was having a really hard time with this one because I had no inspiration for anything lately. So it is, instead of breeding dinosaurs, they're breeding dragons for the Muggles to come and see and ride, and it's the Ministry of Magic who run the park instead of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a mashup, but that's still freaking awesome.
That's like medieval park.
Well,
yeah, I know, right?
And I can see this though. InGen has found out about magic, and they're like, no, we're getting some dragons.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, the Harry Potter and the Aurors have to go and chase them down, and yeah, I see that.
That's better. I can think of that. All I could think of was Jurassic Park and Harry Potter, and then how do I make it work? Yeah. And they breed dragons instead of dinosaurs. That's all I could think of.
Were there multiple different types of dragons in?
There were a bunch. There was like
half
a dozen different types of dragons.
Oh yeah.
And then yes.
Dragons.
Yeah, in the fourth book, they're in the Goblet of Fire.
He's pulling a chain.
And then, but there's all these other magical creatures because they made a whole 2 movies about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, and so you could do like a whole
and that's
creatures.
something InGen would totally start. We have to start doing this.
Yeah we watched Jurassic Park the other day too,
because I couldn't remember. The only thing that was coming to mind was How to Train Your Dragon, and there was different types of dragons in there, so I was like, I couldn't remember if there were different types of dragons. So
there's a bunch,
but very good. No, I like that. That's a great idea. I can already see that'd be like Lainey's favorite thing ever, since she's such a big Jurassic Park and Harry Potter fan. So
there you go.
Yeah,
I go to that world.
Hell yeah.
Either I'd get eaten.
Well, if the park operates like it does in Jurassic Park, yes, absolutely.
Everybody would
It could be the safest park in the world. I get eaten.
Yeah. Open a ball of flame.
All right. So my first one, I don't think there's any chance of any of y'all accidentally stepping on this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there anyway, because like I said, this is the one that I just like came to my mind. And so have any of y'all watched What We Do in the Shadows, the TV series?
Not the series.
Not the series.
Not y'all are killing me. Okay, so the series takes place in New York. There's 4 vampires, and they have a familiar, Guillermo. So there's 3 traditional vampires, and then the one is an energy vampire, Colin Robinson. And I mean, he straight up looks like just this most boring guy ever. And that's how he sucks your energy. He's an energy vampire, so he sucks your energy by boring you to death. And
that's so good.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Well, anyway, in the second season, they start exploring other creatures and stuff. So like, you see what they think of werewolves and witches and stuff like that. So anyway, this is going to be a multiple episode arc. So one of their old buddies contacts them and says, "Hey, y'all should come out and visit the family." And they're like, "Okay, cool." So like the one episode's going to be them like in a fifth wheel or whatever with all the coffins like stacked up while Guillermo's driving or whatever. And I was like fleshing this out. So like at one point they're like, "We're hungry," so they pick up a couple of hitchhikers or whatever, and Laszlo's like just like going to town, and they're like, you know, why don't you slow down, dude? Like traveling and eating doesn't really sit with you. So at one point he's just like projectile vomiting blood all over this fifth wheel, and poor Guillermo's like, "I'm not gonna get the deposit back on this thing." And so they go to visit an old buddy of theirs at 1313 Mockingbird Lane. And now here's the thing. The vampires in What We Do in the Shadows don't really care for ghosts or witches, or especially werewolves. They look down on these other, creatures or whatever. So the fact that their old buddy, a vampire, and his daughter have married a fucking Frankenstein monster is like, I don't know what terms we're going to come up with, but we're basically going to come up with some slurs for the, like, they're going to be dead set on, dude, how can you let your daughter date one of them? And then they had a werewolf? What kind of, like, basically just slur, like, because, I mean, that's kind of their personalities. Eventually, maybe they'll kind of come around to it. And I was like, okay, the other part of it is, and this just kind of came to me just a couple minutes, like, just a little bit ago. I'm like, okay, well, how is Colin Robinson going to fit into this? And I'm like, okay, he's going to be able to be an energy vampire and suck energy because he can do this to the other vampires, and they don't like it when he sucks their energy. But he's going to be able to suck energy from everyone except for, what was her name, Marilyn? The niece, the blonde,
human,
the human. And it's like, we're going to introduce a little bit of mystery there because, like, the other vampires are going to be like, what is her deal? Like, she creeps me out. And they're like, no, it's fine. She's human. It's just a condition. But like, Colin's going to is going to like try to suck her energy and not be able to do it. And it's going to creep him the fuck out to the point, like they're all going to be sleeping in the fifth wheel. And I was like, maybe even Guillermo ends up kind of getting a crush on her because she's cute or whatever. And like, we're going to hint strongly that, even though in the original series she was a human or whatever, like she may be a fucking demon or something in this person. And it's just like not even her family realize. They're just like, well, we've never had any interest in messing with her. She seemed fine or whatever. And it's like, no, she's a fucking demon and y'all have no clue. And then I had an alternate version of this as well. I thought, what if the vampires, from What We Do in the Shadows met up with some of the vampires from Twilight and are just like, what kind of bullshit is this? Like they're turning into bats and flying off and they're just like, you can't do that. Are you like a West Coast vampire? What is wrong with you? Like
they'd be asking, why do you sparkle?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. You got a little glitter here.
Yes. Well, see, that would be one of the things is they would walk outside and they would be like, holy shit, how are you walking in the sun? Because literally they burst into flames.
Yes.
Like they're traditional vampires. So, and then of course I could see them, laying on the whole, what is her name? I can't remember the woman's name, but I could see her kind of crushing on, Edward or whatever. And of course, her husband's just like, he fucking sparkles. Like it just, I just want to. I love that show so much, and the idea of them crossing over with other creatures that are in a completely different type of world setting, I think would be hilarious. So
I can see them doing that on Funny or Die.
oh yes, that would be awesome actually.
Yep.
So, but yeah, if you seriously though, if you have not watched What We Do in the Shadows, the TV series, it is so good. And the second season, almost every episode of the second season is just not. I don't want to say perfect, but fourth season Simpsons type writing.
Oh yeah.
Is very well done. It's just so good. It's
What
and
service is that on?
I watch it on Hulu. It was on FX, and they've moved everything to it. So wherever you can get like an FX type show, pardon me, kitty cat. So may have to figure that out for y'all.
I'll have to look around for that. Thank goodness for VPNs.
All right, Sean. I'm sorry, Ray. You were the first one to go. Ray, what's your next one?
No, it's Sean's turn.
Oh, I went.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I've been swimming today. So, all right, Sean, what is your next one? Sorry.
All right. So
You've done a show for a while there.
I'm just gonna tell you what. Well, do you want me to tell you what they are, or just guess?
However you want to do it, dude.
Well, you guys already know because I already posted it. All right. This one is with Ernest P. Worrell.
Aww.
And The West Wing.
Oh. Oh my.
So, Ernest starts his first night as a janitor in the Oval Office. Wanting to impress President Bartlett, Ernest begins polishing the president's desk and organizing his pens. He accidentally knocks over an inkwell and spills all the ink over the desk. While hurriedly cleaning the mess, he answers the red phone without thinking. Not wanting to get into trouble, he pretends rather poorly to be President Bartlett. He authorizes the invasion of a small country when he utters the code phrase, "Clean up the spilled ink." Putting the phone down and looking at the desk, he realizes the best course of action is to quietly leave and pretend nothing happened. The next morning, while the staff and President Bartlett try to make sense of why the U.S. just increased in size through a successful invasion, Ernest listens in while emptying waste baskets and grimaces.
I was trying to figure out how you were going to incorporate that, but that's very well done.
That's pretty good.
I like that. How you can get Vern and the cook in there, and
oh yeah,
the cook. Well, I mean, he just has to be on staff. Like he just has to be.
He'll be like the president's cook. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Eggs erroneous.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Spaghetti Alfredo.
Throw back to the pre-show. That's another movie I need to show the boys. Is some of the Ernest movies. Don't know how well they're going to hold up, but
I don't know. I found one of the. I think
Ernest
the original one.
We watched Ernest Goes to Camp. Yeah.
See, that was the first and I think my favorite one.
Yeah.
We had a conversation at supper because I had to explain to the kid Ernest P. Worrell because I explained these to him, and they're like, "Boys, remember Ernest Goes to Camp? You know, it's when the things you never say to a family of badgers." They remembered it right away and just started howling, and then
yeah.
Yeah.
So but I had to explain, like, there was a shit ton of those movies and they got kind of progressively worse. But he started doing it in commercials. That's where Ernest came from.
Yes, it is.
That's what I was about to say. I couldn't believe it.
I can still see him like jumping the ladder across the billboard.
That is still so funny.
Yeah.
That is still so funny. Y'all remember that he had a TV Saturday morning show as well. Hey Vern, it's Ernest.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because my favorite line, anything that ever happened on that, was he was talking about Easter, and he comes on, he's like, "Hey Vern, you got an Easter bunny? I like to eat the eyes first, so it can't run away from you." And that has always stuck with me. I just thought that was hilarious. So, all right, Ray, what's your next one?
All right, so this is the one that I started with the whole thing. So we got to get into the mood here. Hopefully this works. On August 18th, 1997, Don Lewis was last seen leaving his home in the morning. The owner of an exotic farm Don was known for living the life of luxury. No one has seen or heard from him since his disappearance. Why was his van left at a nearby airport? Why did it take so long for his wife to contact the police? Was his will actually forged? Was he fed to the tigers he raised? Join me tonight as we attempt to answer these questions and others on Unsolved Mysteries.
It's such creepy music.
He was eaten.
He totally was.
That bitch Carol Baskin fed him to the tiger. Oh my God, that is awesome. And it's funny because you crossed 2 Netflix shows over that are, yeah.
I had to, because I was like, how can they not do, how does somebody at Netflix not see this perfect scenario right now where they're like, we own both right now.
Exactly.
This
By the way, have y'all watched the new version on Netflix?
Not yet.
Not yet. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list as well. I think I might watch it with Christy. We just haven't been in the right mindset to watch it. Lou said he started watching it and he was getting PTSD from the music. Which I'm like, I understand, because when I was a kid, Robert Stack's voice and that music was creepy as shit.
Those Bigfoot episodes were the scariest things. The monster ones. God, I couldn't sleep at night after those.
Yep.
Every noise was that monster coming to get you.
Yes, it was. So I wasn't young enough to, or I wasn't old enough to understand the really scary ones are actually the ones that are like, you know, someone died and disappeared or whatever. Yeah.
No, we used to watch those at my grandparents' place. Kid out in a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
Crazy old farmhouse. Oh man, I'd be shaking under the sheets. I was so scared.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's
the other thing. That would almost have to be it almost have to be like a several part series just to. Because I can already see. Apparently, the new version doesn't actually have a host. It's just everyone talking to the camera. Yeah. Hell, they could just splice in stuff from Tiger King, like.
Totally. That one episode of Tiger King where they dedicated to Carol Baskin's
that's
husband.
the beginning of it right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard the news today. It's come out that there's police dogs found human remains at Joe's zoo. Now he's saying no, there are 4 burial areas for memorials. So
what? Oh my! They're gonna have to do a second season of that fucking show. Like it's just.
Yeah.
That came out today. Just like
that's crazy. I'm surprised Lou hasn't posted something about it because he's just been like neck deep in that shit. So, Chris, what's your next one?
Okay, so Lord of the Rings and the Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay.
So, pardon?
Those sound pretty close.
Yeah.
So there is a wardrobe in Bilbo Baggins' home that leads to the land of Narnia. And a chapter in his book, A Hobbit's Tale, or There and Back Again, has a story about an adventure with a family of beavers and a badger that talk. Later, Frodo reads this chapter and wonders if this is a made-up tale or a real, actual event. He talks to Gandalf, who doesn't give him a straight answer. So Frodo, being very inquisitive and nosy, goes to see for himself and walks into the wardrobe and out into a forest clearing and hears, "Mr. Frodo, where are we?"
Nice. I was wondering if when you said went through the dresser, I was like, oh shit, is like Saruman gonna have to follow him through like. But no, I like that. I like that it's just like a throw off because that is more like a crossover. It's just one small little
Yes, that one is more of a crossover than the first one.
I would have laughed if you'd opened it up and gone like to Mordor.
Oh my god!
So like right over to the mountain, just like
throw the ring
volcano. Just into the volcano. End of the book.
Very short book.
Yeah.
Well, like I have not shown the boys The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings yet, and Christy, well, she does not care for the books. Granted, she's never read the book. She's also only ever seen the third movie.
Oh.
And she's just like, all this, they couldn't just like fly over and throw the thing ring in. I'm like, shut up. Of course, then I also bring up like she was like in love with all the seasons of Sex and the City, and I'm like, so let me get this straight. She meets this dude, they break up, and over the next 8 seasons and 2 movies, they finally figure out how to get back together. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's very
MacGuffin.
Yeah. All right. So my next one is like, so I thought it'd be funnier for the vampires to meet, the Munsters, but I already had the Addams Family, loaded in my brain because, I had played with that idea, and I was like, well, what can I do with the Addams Family? And I think it would be fantastic to see the 5 guys from Queer Eye go pay a visit to them.
That would be awesome.
Because I want to see Jonathan cutting Cousin It's hair, and
Oh
like
my God.
at the end it looks absolutely, no one can tell the difference, but it just thinks it's
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved it.
he just loves it.
Yeah.
But just having Corimo like having the conversation. I'm not sure who he'd be picking specifically. Maybe Eddie, or not Eddie. I'm thinking.
No,
but-
Thing. The
Thing.
hand.
The hand.
The hand.
Yes.
Just having a heart to heart with Thing.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that would be. See, I couldn't figure. I wasn't thinking of the specifics, but I was just like, this would be fantastic because the other thing about, because I thought about what if I did the Munsters, but I'm like, no, I like the Addams Family better because they would be completely and totally just open
Oh,
to
yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
oh, so you're weird because you like to redo houses. Okay, cool. And I can just see like, oh, I cannot remember. Yeah, I can see Bobby and Morticia like comparing notes as to.
Design styles and then Anthony getting in the kitchen with Grandmama.
Oh my
And
God.
all of them absolutely loving the affair between the
Oh yes.
Gomez and Morticia. And they just love each other so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tammy's
Oh my-
trying to talk to Pugsley and Wednesday about clothes
Yeah.
and putting an impression out there.
And this is what you do with the doll and how to dress it differently. And
He's trying to convince Gomez to do the French tuck.
Gomez
Oh
is
my
the
God,
first
that'd be awesome.
That'd be so good. I'd watch that. Logan.
Mira.
Now the question is do you do it with the cast from the original series or do you do it with the cast from the movie?
The movies.
The movie.
The movie.
I think
I
that
know you can't, but
Yeah.
yeah.
but I think either way would be hilarious. But yeah, I think the movie would definitely be a little funnier just because they zeroed in on those. They really kind of refined all of those personalities. So.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they did.
absolutely. I'm on board. That's awesome.
But yeah, I was like I said, I had that loaded in my brain. I was like, no, I need to do something with the Addams Family, and that's what the only thing I was afraid of is I was like, Chris is gonna possibly be on tonight, and she tends like those are 2 of her favorite things. I don't want to
Yeah.
steal this from her. So
No,
that was
I didn't
good.
even think about that. That's awesome.
That was good.
very cool. All right, Sean, what's your next one?
All right. The next one I have is Married with Children and the Brady Bunch. So this one helps because I know Married with Children backwards and forwards like every single episode. And there's a particular episode, actually it's a 2-parter where the Bundys go on vacation.
Mhm.
And so this episode would take place on their vacation. That's how they meet up. Anyway, so the Brady's car breaks down in Dumpwater, Florida, on their way to Disney World. There they meet the Bundys while on their own super cheap vacation at the motel Poppies by the Tree in Dumpwater, Florida. The car won't be fixed for at least 2 days, so they settle in. This allows Bud to hit on uninterested Marcia, Jan to hit on uninterested Bud, Greg, Peter, and Bobby hit on Kelly, while Kelly sleeps with Mike. Peg and Al manipulate Carol into loaning Alice to them, whom they turn into a slave.
Oh.
The Bradys soon explode on each other, while the Bundys take a step back and watch with enjoyment. Flash to that evening at a shot of the motel hallway. The notorious axe-wielding serial killer that strikes every 7 years, taking out the most obnoxious family, stands in the hallway. He puts a hand on the Bundy's doorknob and is about to turn it when he hears the yelling and screeching in the Brady's room across the hall. He turns and puts his hand on the doorknob, fade to black.
Oh my.
The fact that you killed off the
The
Brady
Brady-
Bunch.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Very well done. Sorry, I didn't catch the beginning of it because my cat, I forgot to lock the door and the cat busted in. I've been trying to get him out. So I literally came back to hearing car broke down and I heard Brady and Bundy and I thought, this is fantastic.
So that's based on a couple episodes of Married with Children when they actually go to Dumpwater, Florida at Poppies by the Tree. It's like $8 a night, Peg.
Yeah.
So, but there's a serial killer there that kills every 7 years, and that and Meet the Man Who Met Andy Griffith are the two claims to fame for the town. So turns out the man who met Andy Griffith is actually the serial killer too, so they couldn't arrest him because they would have wiped out the town's tourism. So I tied it all together through that episode.
The
I like
man
it.
who met him.
That is a deep cut, sir. Very well done. Ray, what's your next one?
Okay. See if I can get into character for this. So I'm going to read this out for you too.
You got it, babe.
Yeah. Kevin flips a switch, and the portal finally opens. They've been trying to open this portal from Outland for a while now. As the group look through, they see ice caves. Richard was the first to speak. What the hell? Bill looks at Richard. Come on, Richard. Haven't you ever... You can't tell me you've never wanted to go to Hoth.
I knew that was coming.
Oh my God.
Hang on. I watched Spike plop herself down on some papers when the report came in from Watu. Yep, he picked the Watcher from Marvel. These new guys had a smaller list of names to go with, but what do? I stared at it. Watu popped in my VR. Bob, I went over the readings again and again. There's someone on Earth.
Man, you're all over the map with that one.
Nicely done.
Well, I had to have Bill reference. Hey, come on, it's Hoth. But it's not Hoth because it's ice caves.
Earth in the nuclear winter.
It's Earth in the nuclear winter, and the Bobs have been. So Watu, the Watcher, is now watching over the Earth, waiting for it to, give signs of life, and he gets a spike.
Nice. So, very well done. We need to send that to the author and just throw that out there. Be like, hey, we have an idea for a crossover.
By the way, Dennis.
Yeah. Dennis, can you just make this happen?
Yeah. Just as a
Because
one-off.
how cool would it be if the Bobs got that portal technology, and then they're able to go to like all the different universes and all the different.
Then they could really.
Then they really spread out, like.
Yeah, like FTL changed everything, but like being able to like literally, faster than light,
Yeah.
You're jumping.
movement is insane.
You're jumping an entire universe, like to a totally different
Yeah.
aspect. So I thought that'd be kind of a fun.
That would be fun. I like that. That is a good idea. Good job, sir.
Thanks.
I knew where you were going at first, but then I was just like, okay, where are we heading? Where are we heading? And yeah. So and honestly, I picked it up when you said Spike. I was like, oh, gotcha. By the way, if you're listening to this episode and you don't catch that, make sure to check out the Marginally Geeky Show, our book review podcast.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what's your next one?
Okay, so this is my last one. So it's Hellboy and the Avengers.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
So the Avengers assemble on Earth thinking that they are going to fight an outer space threat to Earth, only to find that it's demons. Enter Hellboy and the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense.
Nice.
But
I'm surprised that
it has to be John Hurt playing Broom.
Yeah.
It has to be John Hurt playing Broom. That's where the time goes.
I'm surprised that comic hasn't already been made if it hasn't already, and I just don't know about it. So
I just thought that'd be really cool that the Avengers, because they'd be in the same city,
yeah.
right? And instead they think it's a threat, except it's not. It's demons, and they've never dealt with them. And then Hellboy comes strutting in. It'd be like to see him and Thor kind of like, or him and Iron Man duke it out.
Him and Doctor Strange fighting over how you fight demons.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be good.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, that was one of the other comments. That was one of the comments that Nicholas made while we were watching the first Avengers movie. Was why does everything happen in New York?
It's an excellent question, Nicholas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because he's like, "Are we in New York yet?" Yep, we're in New York again. So he's like, "Why does every superhero live there?" And I'm like, "Well, for what you know, yes, but yeah, we're still expanding our universes." So
Well,
Yeah.
just look really close. It's actually Toronto.
yeah,
They're always in Toronto.
They're
pretty
always
much.
And if you're in the first, it's Vancouver.
Yeah. We're Vancouver, eh?
Yeah.
Do any of y'all watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No.
I got halfway through the first episode and I couldn't get into it. I should try again though.
Christy has started watching it, and it is so raw, so raunchy.
Yeah.
But God, it's funny. Here, the biggest problem is, when we were watching it, and she goes, "Do you think Alex is going to end up like Charlie Day?" And I'm just like, "No, my God, yes, maybe. He's short, he's wiry, he flies off the handle. Oh my God, that's going to be Alex." So anyway, we've been watching Always Sunny, and it is hilarious. And that's actually not the first ingredient that I put in. It's funny that I chose that word for this combination. I was trying to figure out my last crossover, and I was like, well, what is there another Netflix show that I can pull from? And I was like, let's just throw the members from Always Sunny, because they are always arguing. They can never do anything right. Like it's just a constant shit show with the characters on that show. And let's have them do Nailed It, because reasons. Because oh my God, it would be ridiculous how insane it would be, especially if they did teams. So I see like, there's like really kind of 5 characters, and let's say you pair up 2, the 4 of them or whatever, and they're just going to argue and bitch and fight constantly. And whoever the 5th one is out maybe gets like someone who's a decent person, and they just like the whole episode is them trying to be a decent person, like try to pass off for being human, hoping that maybe, something will happen after this show or whatever. And just because like I said, it's a total shit show on that show. Like there's an episode where they find a baby in a dumpster, and they decide that they're going to try to use the baby to make commercials to make money, and like they haven't thought any of this through. And so literally the woman's like, well, what's the baby's name? And they're like, DB for dumpster baby. Literally that's what it's like I said, it's horrible, but it's also funny as shit to watch because of how horrible it is. So
is Danny DeVito in that?
Yeah.
Danny DeVito joins the second season, and man, he's a perfect fit for that cast. So but yeah, if you're looking for something that you definitely don't want to watch with kids, check out Always Sunny. It's pretty damn funny. So all right, those are the only 3 that I had. Sean, did you have any more?
No, that was it.
All right, Chris, did you have any more?
I didn't have any more, but somebody else does.
Ray, did you have some more?
I'll repeat.
I didn't flesh any of these out.
Okay.
So these are just ideas that we can go through if we want, if you have time.
Sure, go ahead, throw them out there.
All right. Well, maybe. So I thought a fun one would be like the Last Dance crew goes and talks to the kids of the Sandlot, and like they remember the day that they go over and
What's The Last Dance?
that's the Chicago Bulls run. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I didn't know that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because it'd be fun to.
That would actually be hilarious to see them do a documentary like that on what actually happened or whatever.
That would be
And
good.
they're like, they're all talking about, the dog was huge, it was a monster. It's like,
It's
actually the dog was just a normal size Saint Bernard.
Dog. I thought it'd be fun to cross over the Authorities with the Ghostbusters.
Yes, that would be awesome.
That would be good.
I thought that'd be kind of a fun one too. I started fleshing something out, but so Back to the Future, what they find out is that his time jumps are actually causing ripples, and the beginning of the first Stranger Things was actually started from his time warp.
Oh, okay.
That'd be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
That would work with Cloverfield too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it would.
Too. Doctor Strange and Fringe.
See, I've never watched Fringe. I want to. It's just it's on my to-do list.
Yeah, Doctor Strange could.
Because he's detecting these people that are leaving the universe and coming back, and he's got to investigate, how they're doing it. So that'd be kind of cool. I'll save that one. So, Predator and the X-Files, because who wouldn't love to see those two kind of mixed together?
That would be
as
the
long
finale though.
Yep. And then my last one that I really want to watch now is Who Framed Roger Rabbit meets John Wick.
That may have just won the show. Like, we don't even have to go into it. That would be so good.
I think Keanu Reeves would do it.
Oh, he totally would.
Probably.
He would.
You could throw like the Muppets in there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes.
Well, they kind of already did that with. Oh crap! What's that movie now? It had Jenny McCarthy in it.
Yeah. The whatever.
Yeah.
The murder investigation and shit. Yeah. It was like the adult Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one that just came out a few years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see that.
See, I'd love to see Warner Brothers and Disney actually make it work again, just for one thing of John Wick kicking ass with Roger Rabbit beside him.
That would be hilarious.
So,
I know, Bob.
Eddie.
I know, no Eddie.
No Eddie.
Yeah.
Well, he could take that spot.
Oh, that's true.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, Eddie's nephew.
Eddie's nephew, John.
His super hard, murderific nephew.
Hang on. That's where the high table is. It's in cartoon, and that's why he hasn't got to the high table yet. Is because he's got to go to Cartoon Land.
Nice.
There you go.
And what's the what's the little voice guy? He's like the mob boss. That would be like the.
Oh, would be the there you go. Yeah.
He'd be the high table.
Nice. Turns out it's not the high table; it's the high chair. So. Dad joke.
Yep.
No, I like that's fantastic. I like that. Well, if there's some door slamming going on here, if no one has anything else, I guess we'll again wrap up the episode for the month, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and. I'm sorry, I keep looking at my window. I don't know if that was a cat or a boy that walked by. I just looked down. Anyway, let's go. Let's go ahead and move on to our picks. I don't know, right? Unsolved Mysteries theme coming on here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on to our picks and pans for the month. Would anyone like to go first?
Sure.
All right, Ray. What is your pick and or pan?
All right, so I got some picks because I'm trying to stay positive with everything else going on.
Yep.
Maybe. So we got a new roof. The roof is done. It's on.
Good deal.
That's great.
Yay. And we got a date for a siding.
And we got a date for the siding as well, which is good. I went and got a new rower yesterday, so we've set at the dungeon. So that way I can actually start trying to...
And you used it tonight.
And I used it tonight, so that was good. And then there's two shows that we started watching that we've got into. I've been trying to get Chris into the Umbrella Academy for a while.
Oh my God.
I haven't watched it yet.
So I'm thankful that I just started watching it with her, and then I was like, what, second episode? She's like, okay, we have to start at the beginning. I'm like, okay, good.
Nice.
And then the other one that we've been watching is The Warrior Nun, and I know there are some people who think that it's boring.
I want to watch it. I've heard good things.
I really want to. I want to finish it off, but
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it so far. It can drag on in a couple of spots, but I think they're key for character build, so I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the guy said specifically about it. I heard a podcaster. The way he's been describing it is he's like, would you like to see Buffy come back?
Yes.
And like,
Yeah, I even said
or the
that.
elements that are in that, there's like it, a very positive, outlook for, a young female. And it's like, yeah, hey, guess what? Buffy's back, but now it's called Warrior Nun.
Yes.
It's Buffy meets Constantine.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's accurate. I'd say that.
Constantine too. Working on it. No, true. They're working.
Are they?
Oh,
Yeah.
With like Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I love Constantine.
love that movie.
Yeah, it got such a bad rap. But it was
No, I love that
Love
movie.
that movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I even like the TV series, and then they went and
Yeah,
canceled
they shot that one to hell too.
So,
Yeah, well.
whatever.
Bunch
What?
of bastards.
got bloated with all the DC stuff. That's all.
Yeah, probably.
Chris, do you have any picker pans?
I do. Ray took 2 of mine. So, Warrior Nun, which I told you about
Yes.
because so Warrior Nun, and then there's
But
one.
I listened the first time.
Oh, shut up. And then there's another movie or series. I can't remember what it's coming. It's coming out on the 12th. It's called The Cursed, which is sort of based in like Camelot time. So I want to watch that. Same with The Old Guard. It just came out and I haven't watched that yet. And that's with Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 I want to watch. And then The Umbrella Academy. It's good. I watched like a part of the first episode. I sat down and then I watched part of the second episode and I had way too many questions that I was going to like start annoying him. I'm like, we just have to start over. It's really good. Logan's sort of started getting into
She's actually
like peeking in.
like,
And
what are we watching
Yeah.
here?
she likes Luther.
Yes.
I like Luther too. And then my other one is, what was it, last month? His mom gave us an air fryer because they went and got a bigger one. So she gave us our smaller one. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Thing's gigantic. Where am I going to put it? What am I going to do with it?
Somebody loves the air
I
fryer.
love the air fryer so much. Yesterday I made cauliflower, like
Basically
deep fried-
chicken wings, right?
Yeah, deep fried cauliflower. It was really, really good. Everybody liked it but Quinn, which is
So, Sean, I'm going to make chicken wings tomorrow. Actual
Yeah,
chicken wings.
he's making
tomorrow,
chicken
so.
wings. I made deep fried cauliflower. It was delicious and I liked it.
One of the key things that I have found with the air fryer
Mm.
is because it causes some things to be so crispy,
Yeah.
it is much better for bringing back certain foods that you normally like. For example, like if you get like chicken tenders that are like fried or whatever, trying to heat them up in the oven is definitely better than the microwave, but still not great. You throw them in the air fryer, they
Ooh.
come out crispy again, and it's like, hell yeah, this is definitely worth saving. Because otherwise, it's like, no, don't save them. They're not that good. They're not worth it. Totally worth it. Yeah, air fryers are awesome.
Yeah, and I like it. I wish it cooked like bigger batches, but other than that, I mean, this is like a really good. I like it. I'm making that cauliflower again, and I'm making more of it because it was.
It was really
It
good.
was
In
delicious.
fact, Logan ate her fair share of it too.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool.
Oh, and then I have a pan. This week's long Texas heat like wave that we've had here sucks balls, and I'm so done. And today was the first day we could actually sit outside and not want to die.
Yeah, it was in the 80s. It was like 80s.
It was nice. There was a breeze. It wasn't all that humid. We've got to shut off the air conditioner today for the first time in 2 weeks. It sucked. It's just gross. I hate how hot it got, and we're gonna get like a couple, like maybe a day or two reprieve, and then it's
They were going right back
up.
into the heat.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it was funny whenever on the back channel y'all mentioned y'all were going through a heat wave, and we're like, "Oh, that's cute. How much is it?" And you're like, "No, it's like 105." We're like, "Oh no, so y'all are getting the same shit
Yeah.
we are." Okay, cool.
Legit heat wave. It sucks.
Yeah.
It may be like 10 degrees off of what you are, but not
Yeah.
far.
But like, yeah, like, and like I sent that picture, like literally, it's just like this huge circular heat wave in the middle of North America, and everyone's just getting baked. So
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
And
so,
ours is humid, like, because it's a 90% humidity. It sucks.
yes,
so humid, and the air, it's like sucking in oven air. It's just hot. It's so hot, and I don't like it. And I don't do well with the heat, so I felt bad for the kids because they've been stuck inside too because it's just too hot to do anything. We can't sit in our backyard because it's mostly full sun. So the backyard is just, it's like sitting.
You're good in the morning or in the evening, but
and that's it.
But not in the
during the
day.
day, forget it.
Forget it. Yeah, it's too hot.
And that's why Chris is telling me we're getting a pool next year.
Yeah, I was like, I get the pool thing now. I understand. I get it. I want a pool now.
yeah, we can talk about that in a second. Sean, do you have a pick or pan for the month?
So my pan is, I've got a stupid extruded disc right now, so I'm not allowed doing anything. And it's been like that for like the last 5 weeks. And it's
We met you at work, buddy.
probably going to be another 6 weeks.
Wow.
Without surgery. If I get surgery, it could even be longer. So, and it's so hard not to do stuff. Like I'm overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on these super high painkillers that are just masking the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll like go and actually do some stuff and all that. Oh, I'm not too bad. And then like they wear off and I'm like dying.
Or you put your hand up during a show.
I know.
So, but that leads me to my pick. With all this extra time, because I didn't have like the COVID thing, I had to work. So I'm running out of Netflix. I watched all the Star Wars cartoons there is. Just finished those yesterday. And yeah, that's my pick right now is like I got through all of them. Now I can talk on a level with Eugene, kind of.
No, you're barely behind me. Like me and the boys literally finished Rebels just like maybe a month or so ago. So like I was trying to catch up to everyone else, but man, like yeah, the first season of a lot of those shows, it is usually very kiddie. And then by the second season, you start going, okay, there's some depth to these characters. And then by the end of it, like they're full on formed Star Wars characters.
Resistance was the one that got me. Season 1 of Resistance after finishing Rebels.
Uh-huh.
Why am I watching this? And then, but season 2 got better. The stories got better, and
I haven't started that one yet.
Oh, see, I'm ahead of you.
See, there you go.
So I just started The Expanse today.
I've heard good things about it.
I've read all the novels, so there isn't any surprises. I'm more watching it for how they adapt it.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad I read the novels though, because it's easy to get lost in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on, which I found that in the novels. So now I can kind of remember. Oh yeah, that this person is gonna die here, and this person is important because of this, and that kind of thing. But Thomas Jane looks like such a douche in it. Oh my god. So, but I always see him as Punisher. That and Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't look like any of that. He's a douchebag cop. But anyway, so yeah, that was my pick.
So I'm watching that.
Yeah. Do you just question? Do I have to go through Clone Wars to get to Rebels, or can I just watch Rebels?
No, do Clone Wars, because some of the they will reference some of the characters come back from Clone Wars, and they reference stuff from Clone Wars. But also, especially that last season they just released of Clone Wars on Netflix. Yeah. I mean, on Disney Plus. Man, it fills out. Like especially episode 3, like it like really makes that hit hard. So
if you don't want to watch the whole Clone Wars, watch the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Ahsoka kind of disappears in the last season. She's like 4th. So just to get a better handle on her and why she disappeared, you need that second last season.
Okay. Yeah. So, but can I skip the first? Because I remember like I tried to watch Clone Wars and I'm like, this is really kiddie. Like
you can probably skip the first season. So
there's tidbits all the way through it. They really get into like the clones and stuff like the naming of the clones and stuff like that. But I think if you want to like get into Rebels, if you're specifically going for Rebels, watch the last 2 seasons of Clone Wars first.
Because whenever those characters show back up, it will have so much more punch.
Yeah, because it ties everything a lot better in Rebels.
Okay. Honestly, what I'm trying to prepare myself for is The Mandalorian, right? Like.
Yes, you definitely need to do that, because when those characters show up and, real people, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to prepare myself for. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
And honestly, I mean, we were talking about some of the characters in the back channel the other day. One of my favorites ended up being Hera. Like, I loved how she was the strong mother of the group. Like, she was definitely the mother, but she was also, I'm not taking any shit from you. This is a rebellion. Get in line or get out. So, I loved her character. I didn't think she was going to end up being one of my favorites, but she was. So, all right. So I've got 3 quick picks. Number 1 is one that I had last time. We are still finishing up Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you have never watched this series, please do. It covers everything. It talks about race, essentially. It talks about roles of women. It talks about, forgiveness. It like, if you can think of it, a topic that you probably should have a conversation with your kids about, it addresses it, and it does it very well. So yeah, we're loving Avatar. Christy and I, on the flip side, have started watching, like I said, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and it is horrible. It is like watching, because Seinfeld was about four horrible people and the stuff that they do. This is like that to the nth degree. Like, there's nothing redeemable about these characters. So when they get shit on, it's just even that much funnier. And then the last thing is I have not watched Umbrella Academy. On the other hand, I did watch Lock and Key on Netflix.
Yes.
If you liked Stranger Things, this is going to be interesting. It is definitely, there's some kind of dark stuff in it, but it never gets too dark that you can't watch it with kids.
No.
So
no, it doesn't.
but and
I live in that house.
Oh, that
Yeah.
house is gorgeous. Yeah.
it's funny that I started watching it when I was specifically trying to keep myself from starting any projects, and I was telling a couple of y'all, I was like, I was sitting there watching and going, man, it'd be really fun to 3D print these keys, like, because it'd be awesome to put them on a key ring, like on a big oversized key ring, and just hang them in my office, just one of those random background things people walk by and be like, what is that the death key? What the hell? Where? So
if you do that, please.
Yes, we will hang.
We will
I
purchase
have a
some
spot.
from you.
Yep.
Yes.
I have a spot.
the problem, and now, so here's the thing, and one of the things I promised I was going to do, like, I'm really itching to start projects back up again, but I think I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to put myself through a course on learning 3D design, because I've taught myself, and I'm like, I guarantee I'm doing some shit the hard way, and if I would take a step back, do a course, I might, number one, learn some stuff, but I might also learn the right way to do some stuff, because some of those keys, I'm like, some of them are pretty simple, and I'm like, I could do that. Some of them I'm just like, trying to design it in my head, I'm just like, how the fuck would I even begin with that? So I'm kind of thinking that may be something I test myself with, because I haven't seen anyone post anything about it on Etsy, and if nothing else, that might be something I could sell. So
make sure you cut this part out of the show.
No one listens anyway. So but well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please give us a 5-star rating on Etsy, on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Music, pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. As always, you can find us at epicallygeeky.com. There we have links to all the different shows. We have links to a couple of Etsy stores, and then of course check out our other shows. Like I said earlier on, we have the Marginally Geeky show, where we talk about books that we've read. We kind of took a side jag this last month because of everything that's going on in the world right now, and read a book about racism. Next month we're going to finish wrapping up the Star Wars trilogy, the Aftermath trilogy that we started, and then from there I think we've only got one more book, and then we're obviously going to have to read the fourth Bob book. Like, that's just going to happen.
Yes.
So yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes. And then of course we have the Sustainably Geeky show, the Creatively Geeky show. Procrastinators. When we get to it. We've got to get on that. Anyway, so where can we find you online, Ray?
The Reluctant Yeti on Instagram. And you can find Raymond Andrew as an artist on Facebook once in a while. For the people that are just shooting a message, if you're saying hi, and I say hi back, that's fine. Don't ask me where I am. I'm not going to tell you.
I have something to bring up about that after the show. Okay. Chris, where can we find you online?
Oh, I'm kind of creeped out. You can find me on Instagram at The Burrow Life, and on Sustainably Geeky, Marginally Geeky, and Creatively Geeky in here. Yeah.
Very good. Sean, where can we find you online?
Netflix.
Good deal.
Prime, Disney Plus.
I must say,
if I'm brave.
I'm very happy seeing you sitting upright right now.
Yes.
So this is good.
I'm tired.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Next time I gotta do this show, I gotta do it in a recliner. Holding my head up is really sore.
That would be better, sir.
Yeah, let's wrap this up then. As always, you can find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.